Shush!
It's time for The Shelf. Whangarei District Libraries Radio on Beagle Radio.
Oh!
Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai whakaronga mai ki The Shelf, he punua pau mai I ngā whara puka puka I Whangarei I Beagle Radio 88.1 FM, I pāhere koutou I ngā hōtaka me ohotu ki ngā whare puka puka I YouTube. Hello everyone, welcome to The Shelf, a podcast for Whangarei District Libraries on Beagle Radio 88.1 FM and streaming online at beagleradio.co.nz. To catch up on episodes you might have missed, subscribe to the Whangarei District Libraries YouTube channel. I want to apologize for the delay, if this broadcast is getting through at all. Just had a little trouble with the switchboard. Also had another curveball this morning. I was going to introduce a new member of our show, The Shelf. Unfortunately, he is away today, so it's going to just be me in the studio. So this is very unusual for me, but I will work through it as best that I can. Because of the delay on getting the show started, I might run a bit over time because I'd like to cover this material as best I can. So if I go over time, you will hear the broadcast being cut, but you can listen to the rest of the show by going to our YouTube channel when it is uploaded later this week, the YouTube channel for Whangarei District Libraries. I should introduce myself, perhaps. My name is and I work at Whangarei District Libraries as an outreach services librarian. I also manage the DVD collections and the government documents. Oh, and because I'm on the outreach team, I get to do a lot of really cool activities. For example, I did the Lego Club last week, and we had a fantastic time. Our mission with The Shelf podcast is to help develop an informed community here in Whangarei, foster partnerships with other departments at Whangarei Libraries and Whangarei District Council, form connections with community organizations, and promote our library services. And also, most importantly for me, to advocate for library services everywhere. I'd like to just introduce what is often our first segment, and it is called What We Are Reading. Well, Eddie is not here to tell us about the book that he is reading, but I have it written down here. It's called Wonderland by Tracy Farr, and it was the winner of the NZSA Laura Solomon Cuba Press Prize 2024. That's all I know, but perhaps on the next show Eddie can tell us a bit more about it. And here's what I am reading. I'm reading a book with a very simple title. It's called Zorro, and it's by Isabel Allende. And it's a retelling of the old pulp stories called Zorro, from the early 20th century. And it's, so far, just in the style of Isabel Allende, it's starting about a half century earlier than the stories that I'm familiar with. I'm maybe 30 pages in. I'm enjoying it. I think Isabel Allende has a great style. It's very engaging for me. And I think she's one of the best writers alive. I've said that a few times. But the reason that I chose this title is because I read the novels when I was a kid for, what was the novel called? The Mark of Zorro? Yeah, it was called The Mark of Zorro. I've Googled it here. And it was written by Johnston McCulley. I read this book when I was about 13. It was by no means difficult to read, but it was a fun swashbuckler of a story. And, hyperactive teenage me loved that kind of stuff. So that's what I am reading. A new retelling of the Zorro story by Isabel Allende, legendary Chilean author. Let's talk poetry. On August 22nd, it will be National Poetry Day. And we're going to have what looks like a pretty fun event at our library on Friday, the 22nd of August, from 4 to 6 p.m. It's called Let's Talk Poetry. It says here, join us for National Poetry Day to discuss and share poetry. I'm just reading that from our ad that is posted on, Event Finder? There's a slight misspelling in the title. It says Let's Talk Poetry. So just ignore that. Let's Talk Poetry, a National Poetry Day event. I'm going to just read this verbatim. Join us for an afternoon of poetry, connection, and creativity as we celebrate National Poetry Day. Bring a poem and to share and take part in discussing and celebrating local poetry. Friday 22nd of August, from 4 to 6 p.m. That is in the May Bain Room at Whangarei Central Library. All are welcome, poets, readers, and listeners alike. Please RSVP to kiora@creativenorthland.com. This event is restricted to people aged 13 years and over. I suppose that's because of some of the content of the poetry. Use it at your discretion. Well, it's a shame that Eddie is not here today because he spoke to the poet, the local Northland poet, Piet Nieuwland, and Eddie isn't here to introduce it, so I've just found authors.org.nz, and it has a page for Piet Nieuwland. He lives in Whangarei, Aotearoa, New Zealand. His poems and flash fiction appear in numerous print and online journals, and his latest books, As Light into Water and We Enter the, are published by Cyberwit. He co-edits Fast Fibres Poetry. Just a side note, we have Fast Fibres Poetry in the library. Continuing, the annual Northland Anthology, Pete participates in art exhibitions and live poetry performances and occasionally writes book reviews for Landfill Review online. He's also a trained forester and worked as a conservation strategist for Te Papa Atawhai. I'm just going to load the file now. I'm a bit disorganized today because of the delay in time, but here he is. This is Piet Nieuwland.
With National Poetry Day coming up on Friday the 22nd of August, we thought this would be a great opportunity to have a chat with one of our respected, well-known Northland poets, Piet Nieuwland. Welcome, Pete.
Hi, Eddie. Great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you. And you're widely published throughout Aotearoa, Australia, USA, Canada, India. Did I miss any?
India, Indonesia too.
Indonesia as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Germany is another one I had on my list.
Germany, yeah, there's little bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah. And in fact, I did a little bit of digging and I found a Northland Advocate article going back to 1990 with a picture of a slightly younger you.
Absolutely.
Reading some of your work at the Whangarei Library, which would have been the old building next door.
That's right, in the old library.
Yeah. So we've kind of come full circle because here you are on the Whangarei Shelf program for Whangarei Library. And so how long have you been writing poetry, Pete, roughly?
Oh, well, every year it gets longer.
But you were obviously doing it back in 1990. So.
Certainly well before 1990.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Even, I think I started well before then.
Yeah.
Playing around a little bit when I was at school, but seriously in the late 70s and 80s, really.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, so that's...
And have you done other forms of writing as well as poetry?
Well, I used to write when I was at work.
Yes.
Like fairly substantial reports.
Yes, I must mention here that Pete was in a previous life a conservation strategist with DOC.
That's right.
Department of Conservation.
Yeah.
Yep, so part of your job was writing.
A big part of my job was writing. In fact, when I left there, I realised how much of a writer I was.
Right.
because it was a substantial part of it was consultation with communities, but then kind of synthesising and kind of analysing what people were saying and reducing it down to like policy statements and strategies. And,
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously from my perspective, that seems to have fed into your poetry work, because there's a lot of nature in your work, a lot of the natural world, environmental concerns and so forth. Would that be accurate?
That's true, yeah. The language that we used in conservation and the natural world is
and you
necessarily filtered into...
Sorry, you seem to have quite a grip on the te reo names of plants and animals and places that comes through in your poetry.
Yeah, I guess that's just natural, really, but that's probably about as far as it goes. I'm not that... I haven't taken it much to the next level of having a
but it's definitely
conversation kind of in te reo. But,
it's in the DNA of your work, though, isn't it?
Very much part of the poetry.
Yeah,
it's
lovely. I recall Takahiwai coming up in one of your works.
Yeah,
Is that the one you're going to read for us now?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you happy to read that now?
I can do it now if you like.
Give us an introduction so I don't fluff it up, because it's got some big words in it.
Well, this is out of Fast Fibres Poetry 8, and it's called Along Subcutaneous Geometries. Along subcutaneous geometries of the harbour edge and beyond to the sea, a soprano-like allegory of enormous and delicate silences, sculpted with gravitational folds. The clouds are tangled echoes, and liquid gamelan rills over Takahiwai, followed by a great internal heat wave stretched over the horizon. I stand in the distance looking at us. Rain falls upon mossy, translucent viridians underfoot. Spaces of meaning close around fibrils of beginning. Air heavy, nervous with colours of listening. You remember an event corresponding to me, forgetting a name, recalling a face. What would this be if we were our children?
That's a great ending line. Yes, very thought-provoking. Lovely, thank you for that. And Pete, you run a poetry event, is it once a month at 116?
Usually at 116, yes. Yep. And that's a couple of hours of a dozen or so poets just sharing their work. Anyone's welcome to come along.
Yeah, I think that's
you don't have to be a poet. You can also be an audience.
Yes.
or another kind of writer. There's short story people come in, and novelists and other people as well. So
And how would you say the state of poetry is in this day and age of internet and everyone's stuck in their devices?
It's getting huge.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, there's heaps of enthusiasm for it.
Great. Yeah.
I mean, the latest issue of Fast Fibres, if that's any indication, we've had over 60 people submitting.
Wow.
This last time, the last few issues we've had like 40 on,
okay.
So it's
great. Growth
significant increase. Yeah,
excellent, cool. And you act as the editor for these publications, Fast Fibres?
Yes, yeah. Well, I kind of oversee it, and then we've got another, Olivia McCasey. She's the kind of co-editor. She's does some of the detailed nitty gritty. Yeah.
Cool. So we're up to Fast Fibres Poetry number 12. Is it coming out soon?
That's right. Yep.
When is that launching, Pete?
That'll be on the 20th, Wednesday the 20th of August.
Great.
Yeah, so that'll be at 116, and we're really excited about it. It's quite a very wide selection of people.
Yep.
Some big names.
Yes, I see June Pittman's name.
There's June Pittman, Arthur Fairley,
Sue Barker.
Sue Barker, Vivian Thonga, Jack Jenkins, Michael Giacon, Shelley Arledge, Michelle Elvey,
Oh, yes.
Michelle
yeah,
Elvey,
yeah.
Vaughan Rapatahana, Tracy Lark, John Kerrarts. So, yeah, Vola Kasiuk.
And what
So,
can people expect on the opening night, or the, what do you call it, the launch?
with the launches, there'll be a reasonable number of these poets reading.
Yep.
That's essentially what happens.
Yeah. And it's a performance art, isn't it? It's not just about words on pages, it's about it being spoken.
It's the lie. It's everyone gets the chance to kind of articulate their poem.
Yeah.
If they want to. Yeah.
And
So it's quite good. And then sometimes if people aren't there, so there's always a group of people out of town that don't make it, someone will read their poem.
Great.
Someone else.
Yeah.
So which gives quite a different feel to it.
Exactly.
If you heard your own poem read by someone else, you'd kind of go, oh God.
Yeah.
Is that how they interpret it?
There's so much of you in the work, isn't there?
Yeah.
And on the subject, so we've got on the 20th, we've got the launch, which is Wednesday at 116. Is there a website that's advertised on?
Well, it's on. We've got a Facebook event.
Page? Yeah.
And we've also got. It's also on the Phantom Bill Stickers National Poetry Day
Great.
calendar of events.
Excellent. Yeah.
So, if anyone's interested in all of the poetry events throughout the country, go to the Phantom Bill Stickers National Poetry Day website.
Great.
Just Google that.
Yep.
And the calendar of events, and that'll show the Fast Fibres launch, the Let's Talk Poetry event, which is on in the
That
library
Friday.
on the Friday the 22nd, and
that's 4 to 6 p.m. No cost.
no,
Free, open to the public. So at Central Library in the Maybain room upstairs is where that'll be held, and there will be sort of a forum, I suppose, to discuss poetry, and then the opportunity to read and hear poetry
that's right.
being performed. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's in conjunction with Creative Northland, is that right?
Creative Northland,
Yeah.
they're helping us promote it as
Excellent.
well. Yeah.
Cool. Excellent. Well, thanks very much for your time, Pete, today, and for reading that amazing work to us. And what's up next? You've got something else in the pipeline, always, have you? Or
Well, we always have more poetry at 116. Yep. And we also have the Readers, Writers and Poets Festival in Kerikeri, the weekend of the 29th to the 30th of August.
Great. Yep. And
So
I
there's
understand there's some big names going to be there. Is Fiona Kidman there?
Fiona Kidman,
Yep.
Robert Sullivan, Candice Chung, amongst others.
Monty Salto.
Oh, that's right. There'll be quite a few other
Yeah.
there's novelists and flash fiction writers,
Yeah.
short stories. So there's quite a wide range of people presenting workshops and providing assistance to prospective writers who want to get into it.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, great. Thanks for being on the shelf with us today, Pete.
Thank you.
We will see you around the library sometime, no doubt.
No doubt. Yeah.
Great.
Thanks for that, Eddie.
Thanks, Pete.
Good.
That was a brilliant interview. I'm quite proud that was our introduction to Eddie, our new member of the shelf. And I'm happy to have him on my team. On our team, I should say, because we all work together. And before what would be his first episode, he already went out and got an interview. That was Piet Nieuwland, a Northland poet. You are listening to Beagle Radio, 88.1 FM, Whangarei, and online at www.beagleradio.co.nz. That was a great interview, and I'm really happy to hear that Fast Fibres is getting more submissions. Mr. Nieuwland is achieving what I would like to do with this podcast, inviting creative voices into Northland to speak up, submit their art, ideas, and poetry. With my work at the outreach team at the library, I really want Whangarei to be a unique, creative hub in New Zealand. And, well, poet Piet Nieuwland is way ahead of me. Great work, Piet, and thank you for the interview, Eddie. There was an event that Piet mentioned at the end of the interview. It's the Northland Writers and Readers and Poets Festival. It's on the 29th of August. Just Google search Northland Writers, Readers, and Poets Festival 2025, and you book your tickets there. It sounds like it would be a blast. It was my first time hearing of it today. Well, next, I'd like to invite another person onto our show who submitted some work to me remotely. Our colleague Zahna, who also works at the library, read some poetry in the recording, and she read some poetry and recorded it for us. Originally, I just wanted to have her read a poem, and I'd put some sound effects in the background, but Zahna's very creative and took things in her own direction, which I'm very proud of her for doing. And I think I should get right into it soon, because we are running out of time, and I would like it to play on the air. So I'll just get into it now. This is Zahna's Poetry Lounge, Part 1.
Kia ora, everybody. Thank you for having me back on the shelf. I hope somebody remembers a time when I was there, and I'm very happy that everyone is still continuing it, and I hope everyone is enjoying it. Thanks, Andy, for asking me to read something and be back here contributing. I've touched on this book before, quite a while ago on the shelf. If anyone remembers, it's called Divine Feminist, Womb with a View. You can find it in our library upstairs. The call number's 204. It's got a little kiwi sticker on it, because they are two lovely wahine from Aotearoa. And I just come back to this book as one of my foundational books. I guess they're there. They're either your favourites or just my foundational, something you can come back to and love and learn from, and just sticks with you for quite a while. Although I haven't read the whole thing word for word, I love it. This is a book by Toyah and Francis. They've been friends since they were 15, and they wanted to write the book because it represents to them a merging of two radically different ways of being, that through our love for one another had to be constantly navigated, a learning of another's language, of seeing the world through another's eyes. Toyah, the spiritual one, Francis, the political one, both finding a deep love of woman and asking ourselves, what is the pattern and what will make it better? So Toyah went inward and Francis went outward, always coming back together to teach the other what we had learned. Toyah's journey is one of festival culture, of connecting with the Great Mother through dance, meditation, workshops, the immersion of self in a world where what matters is opening the heart, taking responsibility of your healing and well-being, reconnecting with the womb, and learning what we would later call woman's magic. Francis's journey is one of theory, of activism, of feminist writing, the entry into a world of politics that criticised social oppression on every level and fought to dismantle the hold of the powerful over the powerless. What Toyah called universal oneness, Frances called solidarity. And what one learned in her world could always be translated into the other. So that's a little introduction onto just why they wrote the book, the perspectives they had. But it delves so deep. We get to know where Toyah comes from. She whakapapas to the east coast, the North Island of Aotearoa. She writes about her journey, how she grew, how she felt in her body, in her skin, and how she journeyed home to her Māoridom, and how she felt as an Indigenous woman. I thought this was quite powerful. She wrote a little piece called The Hikoi Home. She said, "My journey home to Māoridom has recently hit a wall built from the bricks of patriarchy, colonization and Christianity, building blocks in the systemic oppression of Indigenous women. I am slowly but surely dismantling the wall, one brick at a time. I am removing the blocks of intergenerational trauma and oppression that has shamed not just women for being women, but Māori women for being Māori women. Māori women who bleed, Māori women born of the earth, Māori women whose power is potent, power that has been oppressed and shamed until it was deemed pollutant. Today I find myself on the hikoi, not just of reclaiming my identity as an Indigenous woman, but also of the reclamation of what that actually means prior to colonization, prior to patriarchy, and prior to the church. My journey begins where all stories began, in the dark, watery, fertile depths of my kopu, my womb." And with that, we just start to journey into their idea, but also mine. Like, I relate to, say, like, just a great majority of the book, what it means to be a wahine, what it means to be a woman, what it means to have a womb, what it means to connect with your womb, what it means to disconnect with your womb. What does it mean to want to get rid of your womb? What does it mean when pain comes? What does it mean when a child comes? What does it mean when lovers come into your life? What does it mean just supporting each other as women? It's a whole journey into that, and I think that is a very important one to keep close and an important one to keep loud about, just to keep up the respect and to reflect on how far things have come and the people who put that work, that mahi into the journey, so that I can be where I am today and I can do things. It's a very important one. If you want to go into the history of that, I'm sure there is a lot of library books that we can provide you with. This book is in the library. They also reference resources for wahine wishing to reconnect with menstrual wisdom and Māori women's spirituality. The books that they recommend are Waiwhero by Ngahuia Murphy. We have this in the library. I've read it. It's amazing. Te Awa Atua, Ngahuia Murphy again. Read it. Amazing. And Hine, Aroha Yates-Smith. We also have this. I've also read it, and it's also amazing. So please check those out. They have so many resources to go from here deeper into the journey. I'll just turn the pages, and the titles are Manawahine Indigenous Feminist Perspectives. The next is The Sacred Menstrual Cycle. Goes into the phases. It goes into celebrating PMS, very important topics. and just all the ways that one can exist in this cycle that is a great commonality that a great proportion of the world shares, and one that is hard, and one that is sometimes confusing, and when you don't have guidance, it can be really hard. Just on that, there are many books in the teen collection that help you out through that stage if you're in that stage of life coming to the cycle. Then yeah, our teens librarian will happily direct you to there. I'll just read a little poem. It's called Yin and Yang. It's in the book. It's by Jessica Moon Rawlins. Yin and Yang, Yang and Yin. There is beauty in the balance shining out from within. We need to recognize and accept both sides of our being to achieve equilibrium and understanding of the sacred feminine, of the sacred masculine. Find balance at the center, the Tao, the way. When diving into extremes back and forth we ricochet, while lost in the space around the polarities of our existence. Find the eye of the storm, where peace is ever prevalent. I'll stop there, but it is a long poem, and it's beautiful. I'm guessing this is where Frances comes in, because the title is Woman, Paid and Unpaid Labour. Here we go. In Aotearoa, as of August 2018, the gender pay gap officially sits at 9.2%. Now, I haven't searched up what it is like in 2025. I remember that there is still a gap, and I remember that the gap is bigger for Māori and Pasifika women, which she also states here. At 9.2%, this ignores the pay discrepancy for Māori women and Pasifika women, who earn $9 and $10 less, respectively, compared to Pākehā men per hour on average. The reasons are many. Lack of recognition, how society values women's work, and those little commas, such as teaching, nursing, social work, or service work. Male-dominated industries being compensated at a higher rate, more men in positions of power, CEOs or partners, women choosing to have babies and choosing to work part-time or not at all to care for them, a welfare system that doesn't adequately support these mothers, sexism in specific industries, old boys club mentalities, hiring confidence over competence, women being overrepresented in low-paying work such as hospitality or retail, and although absolutely not limited to, women leaving jobs because of misogynistic behaviours and rhetoric. Furthermore, women statistically do a higher degree of unpaid labour outside of traditional careers such as raising children, housework, and taking care of domestic duties that were traditionally seen as solely female labour. It is important to note that women have always worked in some form or another, and it is important to remember that the fight to get women into the workforce was a middle and upper class fight. Working class women have always been working, and yet are often erased in discussions about the shift of middle class women into paid labour. Oh, yeah, a big one. What more to say? I think that's where I'll leave it. There's a lot of poetry in the back of the book as I flick through. There's a lot of personal stories of growing up, giving birth, how one's just been perceived through life as a woman. In the top 50 publicly listed companies in Aotearoa, there are 4 times as many men called John than there are individual women. Wow. A lot to unpack. But that is where I'll leave it. And maybe should have finished on something light and warm and lovely, but I guess the topic holds both, a positivity and a pain. But yeah, thank you for hearing me. Please come into the library, come issue out these books, come talk to us about what you are looking to learn, and we will always help you on the way there. But I've hoped you have learned something today and enjoyed listening, and I will see you next time. Cool. Ka kite, everybody.
And that was my esteemed colleague, Zahna, who did brilliant work just then. It was more than a simple poetry reading. It was researched, and of course promoting some of the library's materials. And well, I know nobody likes a copycat, but that is exactly what I'm going to do right now. I visited the poetry section of our library today and had a bit of a browse. Much like Zahna, I'm going to read some of the things that I found. I found the New Zealand poetry section very easily because it's indicated by the stickers on the spine with a picture of a kiwi. And I found a little book by Sam Hunt. The collection is called Salt River Songs. I'll just read a short one. What's that country through the pass, the big beyond? What's it like? No one we know made it back. No one, not once, to tell us. Here, heresy and hearsay, passed on by the dead strangers. For me, I've my own ideas. One, to ride the pass some day. That was Sam Hunt, New Zealand poet. And I've got a little stack here of some other things that I found. I found one by, I went to the poetry section in the Maori room. Same call number, 821.92. The poet is Ruby Solly, Toku Papa. I've marked a page here. I purposefully chose shorter poems, because of time. Today the trees are a violet sea. Pardon me, I misspoke. The poem is called Ka Manu Ika. Today the trees are a violent sea, pulled and pushed by Ta Whirimatia's invisible hands. Fish out of water hide in their nests today. They're off-cut sailing through their fingers. When I was smaller than a light breeze, I couldn't sleep at Nana's because the cars were louder than my dreams. Then Papa taught me to imagine each passing car as a wave crashing on our shore. Today I sit here and watch the tide wash the birds back in. What else have I got here? So those were two New Zealand poets, but I'm going to go overseas now. This book I found, I just liked the look of it. Everybody does it. Judge a book by its cover. The author is Caleb Fimi. I hope I pronounced that correctly, but his Wikipedia page says he is a Nigerian-British author, filmmaker, photographer, and former Young People's Laureate for London. So I also chose another one in Caleb Fimi's book. The book is called Poor. The poem is East Dulwich Road. When a knife enters you, there will be no pain. People on the street and on buses will stare, as if witnessing a natural phenomenon. They will imagine the pain they think you are in, but they will feel none at all. You will question if you have always been an empty cove waiting to be filled by another boy's rage. Whether this is how mutilation works, whether, after generations, your black body now accepts the blade with comfort, like an inheritance, a birthmark on your obsidian torso. Powerful words. And yeah, that was me copycatting Zahna's idea. Just reading some poems from our collection. You can find these pretty easily. You can just go to this part of the library. It's the 820s and 8teens, I believe, and just find these really thin poetry books. But if you go to Whangarei Library's website and choose Search Catalog, click on the drop-down menu that says All Fields and select Subject. Then type the word poetry in the search box, and you will find our poetry collection there. I've just done it, and there's more than 1,500 results. And if I spoke too quickly and you missed some of these instructions, no problem. This episode will be uploaded to YouTube, and you can access it on Whangarei District Library's YouTube page. There's also a link on our website if you search The Shelf. And because we're running low on time, and if you are listening live and this podcast just cuts abruptly, many apologies from me for running late. But you can just do exactly as I said and find the episode on our YouTube page and just listen there. And, if you want, give us a like, if you like. I'd like to talk about events. I've mentioned that there is Poetry Day. National Poetry Day on August 22nd. And on August 22nd, there will be an event in the library, like I said before, called Let's Talk Poetry. That's at Whangarei Central Library, Friday, the 22nd of August, 4 to 6 p.m. There is another event here I would like to plug. It just looks interesting to me. Just pulling it up now on our website. I'll read it as it is written. It says here, on the 19th of August, Storytelling Secrets. Come along to a lively panel discussion with 6 award-winning authors and illustrators of children's and teen books. They'll share their tips, tricks, and creative inspiration for writing incredible stories, crafting powerful poems, and bringing characters to life through art. And these authors are, I see 6 of them. Apadana Taylor, he's an author and poet. Isabel Joy Teaho White, an illustrator and graphic artist. Jane Arthur, author and poet. Kanapu Rangatoira, and he's a translator. Rachel Craw, author, and Sam Smith, an author. So this event is brought to you by Storylines Trust, and it is on Tuesday, the 19th of August. That's only in 6 days, so make plans. And I'm going to just have a look here, see if there's anything else coming up. Some of our more regular events. Got tomorrow, preschool fun times. And on the 19th also, there's creative coloring in for grown-ups. You can rediscover the relaxing and creative pastime of coloring in. And these weekly sessions are held on Tuesday afternoons. There's also on the 20th, Knit and Natter. Just bring your knitting and crochet equipment and just have a natter. There's also the Dementia Friendly Book Club on the 25th of August. Some of the members of the Shelf and I actually saw panels at the Lianza conference regarding dementia book clubs. They do have value, so check it out if you need to. Oh, and on the 27th, there's Carry On Weaving, Raranga Tonu, a hui for flax weavers, which meets fortnightly. Well, that's all for today, everybody. Once again, apologize for the tech issues, and I've got a backup recording so I can get this last part in there too. And too bad Eddie couldn't be here, but you will meet him soon enough. I'm sure of it. Thank you, everyone. Ka kite.